Hello Internet. This is a very interesting 3090 EVGA that I have never seen before to have such a problem. And the problem is very interesting. Every 12 volt rail, with the exception of the one that's coming from the PCI Express, is shorted. Like every single one of them. So, blown fuse, blown fuse, blown fuse. But every single phase, as you can see here, or the power stage or rail, yes, so every single 12 volt rail is shorted. How is this even possible? So, given the fact that under normal circumstances, one driver MOSFET blows up, that one driver MOSFET is powered by one particular uh, rail, one of the three, and then you just replace the fuse, replace the driver MOSFET. Most likely, almost 90% of the time, the PMIC at the front or the back goes along with it, and that's it. But in this case, all three are shorted. So, do we have like every single driver MOSFET shorted, or what's going on in here? Another thing that I could think of is a capacitor. There's a capacitor somewhere that's short, and that capacitor happens to link, well, I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. Because even the capacitors would not be. See, if the capacitor, let's say one single capacitor, were to filter any of these 12 volts, that would mean that the capacitor would have to be connected to each one of these. But that's not the case either, because every single 12 volt rail is filtered separately. So what do we have? I have no idea, to be honest. I'll inject some voltage and see if maybe something shows up on the thermal camera. I'm not seeing anything here. So let's see. Yeah, nothing's gonna be here or there or anywhere for that matter. Yeah, nothing here, nothing there. So we're gonna have to increase. We're gonna have to increase the voltage most likely, unless I start to see that this capacitor. You see this capacitor? See how. Let me turn off the lights here so it's a little bit easier to see. You see how all these caps are reflecting at the top? That's normal. But this guy, it's also reflecting on its side, if I'm not mistaken. No? It's very difficult to get rid of the reflections. See it. Yeah, I think it was all just reflections. Never mind. Okay, so I'm going to continue on looking. I'm going to go ahead and increase the amperage or yeah. So I'm going to give this thing a lot of amps. See if anything warms up this time. Yes. You see this? Yes. So two capacitors and what else? Is that the shunt resistor there? I think so. Yeah, and the shunt resistor. So two caps, but that's messed up. Why would two caps? Are there any more caps? One more cap here. Holy cow. Can you guys believe this? So two caps and the cap here. How does that make any sense? I have no idea. Let's go ahead and rip those caps off the board. Okay, there's one. That's a lot of caps. As a matter of fact, it's rare for these caps to fail in such a way, at least based on my experience. But having all three, let's see if the short's gone. Still short. Yeah, this one's gone. So two are still short. These two are gone. Okay, so that means a whole bunch of capacitors went bad. So we've solved the short on this one, so there's no more short there. But we're still getting short on the other two, which means more capacitors. Yeah, okay, see right there. This guy? This guy, yeah. So the second one here. There we go. Okay, so short is gone. Yep, short is gone. One more. Holy cow, this is incredible. I guess this thing is just aging. I don't know. This is messed up. I've never seen that many failures. Yeah, one more cap. One last cap here. That is balls, man. That's a lot of dead caps. Okay, so insert. Yep, short's gone. That's it. We fixed it. Let me see. Double check with the thingy here. Yep, it's gone. Okay, so what I want to do now, let's power on, see if it works. If it makes any sense to continue, because it will work without these capacitors, obviously. But what I want to make sure is that there are no other issues, such as blown driver MOSFETs potentially. Most likely, given the fact that the EVGA is constantly having power failure, monitoring chip failing when there's a short on 12, we might end up having a problem with the power monitoring chip. So let's see what the board is doing when it's powered on, and it's not doing anything. Wait a minute, it's doing something. You guys see this? Oh yeah. We got no fuses. Okay, so let me go ahead and flip the solder the fuses. And then, well, because I can't power, obviously, because fuses are blown. Alright, fuse is replaced. The board is almost cooled, a little bit warm. Let's see what happens when we flip the switch. Ooh, we got them shorts, ladies and gents. And we have another capacitor that's failed in here. So, let's get rid of that gently. There we go. And let's see. That's probably what happened. Okay, wait a minute. Is that it? I'm gonna have to cool this thing down just a little bit more to see things a little bit more clear. Because I thought I saw the driver MOSFET that was failing, but after removing that one shorted cap, it looks like things went away. I'm starting to think I'm gonna have to replace every 12-volt capacitor on here, at the very least the electrolytic ones. So, okay, so that looks okay-ish. Yeah, look at that. Looks good. The PMIC 28 degrees. Yeah, looks good. On the power side, 2.5 amps more or less. Okay, let's see if this thing boots. I want to make sure that I can do some kind of basic testing before I spend enough time to replace all of the capacitors. That's not going to be easy or quick or anything in between. It's going to take a little bit of time. Thankfully, I have my new sucker delivered recently, the Hako, the best sucker from Japan. Ended up snagging one on eBay. Gave the customer, gave the seller a good offer that he couldn't refuse, which was about 95 to 98% of its original cost that he wanted. So it was definitely an offer he couldn't refuse. So who cares? It is what it is. A good tool will always cost a good amount of money. Just like a good professional service will cost a good amount of money. So, though not always. There are plenty of crooks out there that are taking your money and giving you nothing. How did that happen? Like every single 12-volt capacitor went, well, almost went kaboom. That is definitely not cool. How do they get dried up so badly? I have no idea. But I don't care at this point, so I am currently monitoring the rest of them, make sure that they're not going bad or anything like that. They all look okay-ish. So, and I think the card is posting. Yep, there we go. So the card's posting 30 degrees on the PMIC on the front. I think that's okay. And we're gonna wait for the drivers to install. I want to make sure that all the power sensors reporting correctly. Then I will also look at the valley or something like that to make sure that I will not see anything that resembles things like that. That's another EVGA 3090, the hybrid version that came from that same customer. We have the green squares and we have all sorts of these things. And when I ran the valley or the heaven, I think, yeah, when I ran the heaven, it was all like rainbow flashes. So yeah, that's a dead core. All right, let's continue on waiting for this one. All right, here we go. First order of business is GPU-Z to make sure that we can monitor any kind of overheating that could happen during testing. We do not want to overheat this thing. And you can already see that the temperatures are not in our favor because the cooler does not contact the core efficiently. That's okay. We're not going to be running firmware anytime soon. Okay, I want to see clock go up. We always screwed up. You can see here we got 200 TDP. So we're going to replace the PMICs on the back and the front. But right now I just want to see if we're getting any kind of weird artifacts and whatnot. I don't see any flashing. Okay, so that's good. Another test I can run quickly would be this guy here. Again, we're watching temperatures very closely. I want to see like 2-3 iterations. Yeah, that's probably enough. So I think we're good. We are reporting gibberish on pin number 2. It doesn't really matter where you get these reports, false reports from, and none of that's really matter that much anyway. Yeah, 400 watt on pin number 2, almost 400 watt on pin number 1. Yeah, none of that makes any sense. All right, so at the very least, we know we have a working core, but we got a problem with the power management. So that's great news. That means this is a repairable 3090, which is kind of funny because I've just fixed it and only now I'm saying that it is repairable. And that's basically how my diagnostic process can go sometimes. I actually have to get this thing to boot, to post, and run some tests and see if I have any kind of issues before I even get to say, yeah, it's repairable. you know, um, it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry about it. So let's put some standoffs here and there. So what I want to do next is, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and replace all of these caps. 16 volts, 16 volts, 16 volts, 16 volt. All of them are the same. Yes. So this one. So all of the gray ones, the pink ones are for memory. So we're not gonna bother with those. These are not 12 volt caps. They are all low voltage, like 4.7 or something. 6.3 volt, 4.7 microfarad, or 470. 470. These are all 270. Okay. And we're gonna be replacing both of the PMICs, front and back, to save ourselves some time and a little bit of sanity. So, or we can replace the front one, see if it helps, and if it doesn't, then we're gonna take the front one and put it on the back. That way we save at least one of the chips. So we'll see. Who cares? Let's for now, I probably want to snap off the rest of these caps like so, and just replace them all. That way it'll be easier to desolder the legs, although not necessarily. It's probably not gonna be easier, but I don't know. Just gonna do it anyway. Who cares? I've never done it this way before, so I'm gonna try it and see if doing it this way actually makes it easier or not. Usually I just leave them the way they are. So that the gravity, when I hit the board, just kind of makes them drop down on their own. You know, because when I desolder them, I just keep the board like this, and then as I work my way across the board, they just fall down. And yeah, that was a bad idea, so don't do that. It's just extra problems to deal with. These pins that are not falling through. Yeah, just annoying. It is what it is, though. You learn something, hopefully. So I have to melt them, and then it seems like they're falling through, but they don't. Then I take a small soldering iron, push it through, and you would think that they fall through, but they don't. And then I take the pick, and then I run the pick all the way through, and you would think that they would fall in through, but they don't. In this case, they actually did. So who cares? And then you got all that low melt that you got to pick up, that exit it the other way around. Maybe even wipe it out. Yeah, probably be a safest thing to do, just wipe it out. And then you still have to suck it all out. So that's just another problem or a bonus. Where's my Hucko? Hucko. So while the Hucko is heating up, let's do these. This is probably the only place where I actually use low melt. Otherwise, I don't use low melt for anything. Sometimes I use it for a power connector. Not all the time, though. Only when I'm in a super hurry. In this case, I'm not super hurry, but there's a lot of these capacitors, so in order to save a little bit of time, I'm kind of cheating. So yeah, I consider low melt a cheat. Now with a dental pick, make sure we push it all the way through, which apparently does not give you any kind of confirmation that you actually push that pin all the way out, because it could still get stuck on the side, as we will see in just a minute. And let's see. Yep, there's like half of them are still sitting here. So that's why this method was a waste of time. It'd be more efficient if I left the capacitors intact. But breaking their legs from the beginning was the fastest way to sort of diagnose, or rather start the process, but definitely not getting it finished. So with that done, see if we can suck it all out with our new toy. Oh, this thing works just magic. So good. Wow, that's just beautiful. My old sucker would not do that. He would get clogged up non-stop. But this one seems to be holding up very well. I think when the Chinese try to copy it, they didn't really copy the tip. The tip that it's on the old one is just a hole. Whereas in here, it's not just a hole, it's actually different diameters. So the other one would get clogged all the time. Wow, that looks really good. I think. See if I can catch any solder on it. Nope, looks good. It looks absolutely perfect. All right. So now a whole bunch of caps, and we should be done. All right, so the caps are replaced. I didn't replace the PMIC, not yet. I think I want to go a slightly different route, so power is still good. I want to go and see if I can narrow down which one of these chips is bad. A lot of times it's not that easy, because you can be getting good readings, but the chip is faulty nonetheless. So we're gonna start checking some pins. You probably cannot see it. I had some flux in here. I was about to remove this chip, and I thought to myself, maybe we can just narrow it down. And some people might even learn something. Alright, so we're looking for 12 volt on pin 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and then the exact same thing on the back. So 12 volt, 1199. So that's gonna be our baseline. 1195 or whatever, close enough. And then on the third pin we get 0.77. Okay, so next three will be exactly the same, or at least should be. So 188. So are we sagging in here? 187. We're gonna check with this one here. Nope, we're not sagging, we're just warming up. Okay, so 1132. Oh, that's definitely different. So is it 1132 on the side of the chip? Yes. Or is it the 1132 on the side of the resistor? It's 1132 on the side of the resistor. So is it this resistor here? Do I get 12 volt? Or the 1186 or whatever? Same as I get here. So 1185. Not sure why it's reading 1185. Let's switch the probes around. 1192. One more time. 1186. We're a little bit dipping down here. But everything else... No, we're still dipping. We're dipping on the end of the resistor. And let's check one more time. 11.87. Why are we dipping so low? 3 amps. We're climbing up to 3 amps. So maybe I give this thing more amps. Let's give this thing more amps. One more time. What are we reading on the coils? Coil is reading 11.9. 11.8. The other one is 11. Okay, so 11.8, 11.9 is what you should be getting around here. Yeah, so it's about the same. We're looking for a more dramatic difference, I guess. 11.9, 11.8, almost to 9, whatever. And 0.26. I think this pin's supposed to be... Whoops. 0.26. Okay, never mind. So 1, 2, 3, 0.26. 1, 2, 3, 0.26. So 12. Or the exact same 11.8. Exact same 11.8. Ooh, 11.2. Uh-huh. See, this one's a lot lower than this. See, 11.9 or 11.8, but this one's like 11.2. Yes. So that's our problem right here, definitely. And this pin is going to be very different. Oh, yeah. So, this pin, where does it go? This goes into here, this resistor here. So we got good voltage here, and we got bad voltage after. It's not the resistor, it's this guy. Alright, the chip replaced. Let's see if the readings are changed. So we're gonna start, I don't know where the chip came from, so we're gonna start from the very beginning. So 12.5. Wait, what? Where does that go? 12.13, about the same. This one can be measured here. 0.25, so that's good. 12. 12. I think we go here. Yep, same thing. What about on this end? 12. 12. And this one here, I believe. Yep, same reading. And one, last one. 12. And this is where we had trouble before. 12. So now it's 12. And the last one, exactly the same. We used to have like a 1.6 volt or something like that. And now we're reading good voltage. So maybe we got lucky, and the very first chip that we replaced will end up being the one that was faulty all along. So who knows? Let's boot into the Windows and see if anything changes. Now, if you're still not sure what am I measuring, what for, what am I looking for, and how this process works, I have an earlier video about the exact same card where I explain things in a little bit more detail. So don't be shy, go check it out. I don't know what it's called, so maybe somebody knows. You can post it in the comment section below what the title of the video is to make it easier for the rest of you. Alright, GPU Z, and we can probably run mem test as well. Okay, so what's our TDP? Oh look, TDP is normal, 12 volt, 12 volt, 12 volt, 6 watt, 8 watt, 12 watt. Okay, let's run this guy, see what it does. 30%, 99%. We are overheating, but everything is looking good. Close, 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 close. We do not want to overheat. Okay, we're done here. This GPU is 100% fixed. All I have left to do is, well, it's 99% fixed. I still have this 1% chance that we may have to reball the core. Who knows, it might fail and start crashing. I won't know until I run all the tests. So, even after all that work, I am still in the diagnostic process of this thing. Believe it or not. Until I get it done completely. So until I get it all fixed. And I don't know, kind of makes me wonder, when people pay me for diagnostic, do they pay me for diagnostic? Because the way I deal with this is that diagnostic and the repair attempt, it's one cost. So let's say that right now everything appears to be working, and I hope it is. And then I start running a test, and I start to see like flashes and geometric distortions in games, because I haven't run in games other than the Valley or Heaven or whatever. So I still don't know how other games will perform. And imagine if imagine, let's say, Time Spy will give us some kind of geometric distortions or whatever. That would render the core dead. And after all that work, it would still be the same diagnostic or repair attempt cost. So I don't know. I think it works. I think it's fair to customers, because exact same thing would have is happening to the other 3090 from that same customer. I diagnosed it in like 5-10 minutes just looking at the artifacts, and but in this case I still don't know, with all that work that I put in, I still don't know whether the core is working or not. And if the core ends up not being working, it's just a repair and diagnostic fee, repair attempt diagnostic, one fee, and that's it. I think it's fair, but let me know what you think about it. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, and that will probably be it for this repair. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble everything, put the fresh pads and paste everywhere where it needs to go, and I hope I earned your like and maybe subscription if you're into this kind of stuff. And please don't forget to leave a comment to help with the algorithm, and have a blessed day. Goodbye.